Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. How are you guys? I am trying to make sure we are alive well in the Facebook group. Uh-oh. Did we stay live on Instagram? I don't think so. Hello, 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 everyone. I am trying to make sure we are up and running. Tell me where you are seeing me because I want to make sure that I have us. Oh, there I am. Okay, let me pin this. Hello, everyone. Let me get everything ready and we'll get started. I am on my own tonight, I think. Goodness gracious. Why is Instagram so darn rude? It does not want to work. Let me know if you can see me, where you're watching me from. Okay, so I see some of you. Hi, Sakura, how are you? I see some of you guys are on YouTube and Facebook. I'm trying to get Instagram working, but it's not wanting to. And I'm not sure where my other laptop is so that I could use it and mute it. Hi, I got it to work the other day. I don't know what's up. I need Mackenzie to come and help me. You can see me on Facebook. I don't know why I can't get Instagram to work. I'm determined to get it to work. Not wanting to do it though. Anybody have any technical suggestions here? Because if I do it, it definitely wants to give me trouble. How is everybody doing? Tell me who you are. Tell me where you are watching me from. Tell me how far along you are. Let me know if your partner is here with you to watch so that I can see who all is here with us today. Who all is here with me today? Let me see. Hi, how are you? Can you guys see me okay? Hopefully. I'm trying to get Instagram back on here. We'll see if we can get it back on here so everybody on Instagram is not over there waiting for us. I am determined to make this darn thing work. Me and technical challenges. Sakura is 23 weeks. I'm trying to make sure I can see it. Oh, look at 23 weeks tomorrow, and your husband's here. Ventura County, 37 and 5. I love it. Did I miss one? Let me make sure. 35 weeks, 2 days. Cynthia, 32 weeks today. I love it so much. Are you guys so exhausted? My team was like, why did you throw on extra workshops? But it is what it is. First pregnancy, identical twin girls. Ay, wow, that's so exciting. You're going to have so much fun dressing those babies. I love it. Okay, hopefully you guys don't hear the echoing. Can you guys hear that echoing? Does the sound okay, you guys? I'm going to make sure because it's irritating me. Someone let me know that the sound sounds okay before I keep going. We're going to go ahead and get started. So as we're getting started, at the very end, I'm going to do some Q&A. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do a lot of Q&A. It just depends. But if you, when you get done, we're going to do a birth story on Instagram. Hold on. I am trying to make sure. Oh, it doesn't look so good on Instagram. It's looking bad on Instagram. So those of you guys who are watching on Instagram, head to Facebook or head to YouTube because it is just not working. We are going to just forget that. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm super excited. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about being a partner support. But if you're new here, because I know a bunch of you guys jumped into the workshops this week, if you don't know who I am, my name is Trish. You might also know me as Labor Nurse Mama. You can find me over on Instagram. You can find me on the podcast, The Birth Experience with Labor Nurse Mama, or you can find me hanging out with my students from both of my birth classes, Calm Labor, Confident Birth, or the VBAC Lab inside of our private community over on Circle, our own app, where we have just the most amazing mamas and doulas and team ever. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I threw this one in here. Oh, this one, wait a minute, I moved it. We're skipping it. Not yet. Okay, so here's my question for you guys tonight. All week last week, we talked about the importance of having labor support. And for my support people who are here tonight, I want you guys to realize how powerful it is what you bring to the table, because it has been proven that by having an educated, continuous support person, which we're going to talk about what some of that means, but by having you there and you're educated, you understand what's going on, that your role increases the chances of a successful vaginal delivery, decreases the chances of interventions, increases the chance that mama is going to leave the birth feeling satisfied and grateful and happy and not traumatized. So my question tonight for all of you guys, and especially for my labor support person, is that you guys are going to commit to getting as educated and commit to this journey with your partner. So for my labor support people who are here, I want you guys to say, yes, I commit. And for my mamas who are here, I want you guys to commit to conveying this information to whoever's going to be your primary support person, because their role is powerful. It's so important that they are there and that they're consistently supporting you. So I want you guys to really be committed to that. So I'm going to do, if you have ice, I didn't tell you guys, I didn't give you a heads up. So if you have ice, I want you guys to just grab some ice, okay? We're going to do this trick. So for the people who are watching this later, they can also do this trick as well. So I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes to grab some ice. And for those of you guys who want to do this, give me an ice emoji or say, I've got it, or give me some indication that you have your ice, and then we'll do it. Let me know when you have it ready to go. And I'm going to get my timer. All right, I've got, somebody's got it. So for this, we've done the ice trick last week, and we talked about like some powerful tools. So I want to show your partner as well. And this is just a great reminder for you too. So I'm getting my ice too. So I want you guys to grab your ice, go ahead and put it in your hand. And during this trick, like during this ice trick, I want you to squeeze it really tight. And I want you to like think about like all the things that you need to get done for baby. I want you to think about like the nursery planning. I want you to think about this ice and how cold it is. I want you to think about like your stressful day at work today. I want you to focus about on all the things that like you've got to plan, get your birth plan done, take your birth class. And mine is freezing me. And I want you to think about this pain and how bad this pain is, right? So in labor, when you're in labor, and especially in the beginning of labor, and as this pain is building, part of your coach's job is to start helping you take your focus off of what's happening, this pain. So as this pain is increasing, and I know it is because it is for me. All right, go ahead and throw it down. So what I want to show your partners and your coaches, and you guys can have them, if they're not here with you right now, they can come back and watch this. So I want them to hold the ice as well. This is a really important lesson because part of their job during labor, it morphs. But part of it is emotional and physical support and distraction. Their whole job is to get you through the pain of labor, to get you through the process of labor, of the confusion of labor, of what is happening to you. So when you're holding that ice, that is like that beginning of labor, that pain starting to increase. And if your partner, when labor's starting, and you've told them that labor's starting, and your partner is like, okay, so what's going on? What are you feeling? Asking you all these questions and just like not allowing you to focus on what's happening inside your body, then they're going to add to the difficulties that you might face during labor. So if you notice, like I was kind of chaotic during that ice trick, right? During that pain. So I'm going to talk about the power of your partner throughout this workshop. And this is going to be a pretty concise little workshop. And then at the end, we're going to do the trick again. And I'm going to show you what your partner should be doing when you're having contractions. Deal? All right, you guys. So wait till the end and we'll do it again. All right. So let's go on. So supporting a birthing mama, and for those of you who are here without your partners, and you haven't chosen who's going to be your primary person, or if your partner is going to be there, but maybe you've thought about letting a good friend or your mom or your mother-in-law or someone in your room, I want you to start weighing out these things. These are the core components of your birth coach. They aren't just there to see the baby. They are there because they have a powerful role to play. I'm drinking coffee, y'all, because when we are in the middle of live open enrollment for our birth courses, not only do we still have mamas who are having babies, we have about 40 in labor right now. And we do our labor bat signal, so I'm communicating with them. But we also have so many new students, and it's like I'm going to Disney World. I can't sleep, so I'm exhausted right now, so I'm living on coffee. Okay, so supporting a birthing mommy. First, you are so important when it comes to her mental and emotional well-being throughout pregnancy, throughout labor, and throughout postpartum, not just in labor. So that's in my birth coach class, which you guys get free if you join our classes right now. But throughout that class, I talk about what you can actually do for her throughout the different times of pregnancy and postpartum. Because, and I've said this a lot this week, this has been something that's really been weighing on me because I have had a tough couple months. And my husband is like, what can I do to help you? And I never know what to say. I'm always like, I don't know. I've had the worst allergies, you guys, and I have been sick. And he's always like, babe, what can I do to help you? I never know what to say. So for my partners who are sitting here, if you can relate to what my husband is going through, then I want you to realize this is why you need education and instruction, because it won't come easy. And you're probably figuring that out already. When, she's like, I gotta pee, I need to eat, I need to get up, I need to lay down, I'm so tired, I can't sleep, I want to sleep, but I can't sleep, and all these things. And you're like, gosh, I want to help her, but what can I do? And you need to have tangible things to do. And that's really important because her emotional and mental place where she's at is so key to her birth experience, because birth is 90% mental. So if you can keep her on the right mental track, you have just won such a huge part of her battle. And it's so important. So I talk throughout the classes and throughout the birth coach class about this, like, constant positivity, this constant reinforcement, this constant affirmation. And you hear about birth affirmations and you think, God, do they really work? But trust me, when she's going through something so extraordinarily difficult, and you look at her and you say, you are so amazing, it is going to flow through her like she just got hit by a waterfall, because she is going to feel so weak and so tired, and she just needs that food from you, that affirmation from you, to build her back up so she can get through the next battle, because it's one contraction at a time, and your words will feed her, literally, emotionally and mentally. So that we're going to talk about a couple things you can do tangibly, like through the thing. And I'm going to show you guys a video that I showed the mamas last week that will show you some actual hands-on things you can do for her. I'm going to re-show the videos I showed last week because they're so powerful. And the two things that, well, I'm going to show you one of them that Taylor shows, and it is so powerful. And that's part of the physical aspect of your role, because physically she needs help. She's going to need help. Now, that being said, you also have to learn how to watch her cues. So with my patients and with my students, I tell them, come up with a cue word that means get the hell off of me. Because during labor, what you like 90% of the time, during labor, you might be like, no, like all of a sudden. So you need to have a cue, because you don't need to be worrying about what your partner's thinking or your support person is thinking or your doula is thinking or your labor nurse is thinking. You just need to be very quick and able to be like, I hate that, get off me, with very few words. So we always come up with maybe a sign or a cue. That's up to you, whatever it is, your cue word to get the hell off, because you don't need to worry about letting someone do something that may feel good one minute but bothers you the next. So the physical aspect is super important. And then the communicator is a huge part of your role. You are going to be a bouncer. You're going to be a blocker. You're going to be an advocator. You're going to be a boundary setter. You're going to keep the door shut physically, emotionally, by communicating. You're going to make sure no one gets through into her labor bubble, because all she needs to do is labor. So she doesn't need to update everyone about baby being born or baby coming or what stage of labor or what have you. And really, you don't need to either. So I would come up with a plan ahead of time. But if anyone needs to communicate with anyone, it should be you. And, sometimes what we recommend is that you guys set up maybe like a pop-up Facebook group, like I do for Fearless Birth Experience, that's just up for the labor, and you can post updates, and that's where everybody heads to check that pop-up group. So, for Ashley Dumar here, it could be Ashley's labor pop-up group, and every time you guys have an update, instead of sending it out to 20 people, partner goes in and does a little update. And that's where they check for the updates. And then they can chat with each other. They can make guesses. If you don't know what the sex of the baby is, they can do little polls and updates, and you can just have fun. They can have fun in the group instead of bugging the heck out of you guys, because you guys just need to labor. Does that sound like does anybody like that plan, to not have to update anyone? Is anyone being driven nuts yet? Did you guys see my reel today about how once you hit about 38, 39 weeks, everyone will drive you insane? So go ahead and set up your boundaries, get them ready, come up with a plan, and then stick to it. So you also are going to be the one who advocates for her birth plan, and we're going to talk about that as well. Okay, so how do you prepare yourself? So something that's really important for a birth coach or a birth support person is you really need to check your views on birth and pain. So what I've been coaching these mamas all week and last week was to flip the script on what they're telling themselves about childbirth, about the pain of labor. I want you guys to stop looking at it as something you have to suffer, something you have to like get through, like, oh my gosh, I have to do this to get to my baby. No, I want you guys to start looking at it like, oh my God, like I get to do this. Like this is going to be amazing. Like it's so incredible and powerful. Like she's going to birth a human being. Like revel in that. Like stop looking at birth as something that's going to be so scary and bad. I want you to also have that same view that I'm trying to infuse into her. And the only way you guys can do that, really do that, is to be as educated as possible. You need to understand the process of what's happening inside of her body, the stages of labor, how to work with each stage of labor. You need to understand what's happening in the birthplace. If you're birthing at a hospital, you need to understand the process of triage to admission to postpartum to all of that. And you need to know how to communicate with the team, what to say to them, how to say it. We teach inside of our classes how to fire your providers, how to fire your labor nurse. You can fire your doctor at bedside in labor, and they will get you a doctor. We teach you guys how to advocate for yourselves, how to stand up for your rights. And during labor, tag, you're it. The partner is it. You are the one. So you have to know the tools. You have to know what she wants. You have to know what she's desiring for her birth, and you have to stand by it and be willing to stand up for it. You want to know what, like, you know, honey, why is it that you have this, and what is the reason? And you know it as well as she knows it, and believe it. And then also just believing in the power of her body. Like she's building a human. Like this is incredible what's happening here, and just being awed by it and believing in it. So when she's in labor, like you're genuinely affirming her and just telling her how crazy, incredible, and powerful her body is, so that she is remembering how powerful she is. And it's just those words of affirmation will carry her through the entire experience. Okay, so when you are in her labor room, stay focused on her. This is not the time to be checking up on your work emails or chatting with your best friend or looking at TikToks or scrolling Labor Nurse Mama's reels, any of those things. This is when you stay focused on her. So one of my number one tips for you guys is that your job is to watch her cues, follow her. So if she is closing her eyes to sleep, that's when you can, take a little break, but keep your phone down. Keep that, wear your AirPods, only one, so you can hear her. If she is, wanting some time alone in the tub, that's your time to break. Otherwise, all hands on deck. You are focused on mama, and you want to make sure that your attention is on her. The worst thing ever is when you go into a labor room and the support people are on their phone and she's in the bed or she's squatted next to the bed and she's laboring alone. You don't want that to happen. You want to be right there with her the whole time. A good thing about having a doula is that you're able to take breaks and you guys can kind of relieve each other. So that's a good, amazing benefit of having a doula. And the doula also supports you as well. But really, 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 really want you to remember that your focus is her. And I know when you're thinking about the birth, you're like, well, duh, of course it is. But when you're there for 20, 30 hours, that's hard to remember. So just follow her cues, focused on her. Okay, so first stage of labor. My number one tip for you during the first stage of labor. So first stage of labor, and hopefully you learn this in your birth classes, hopefully my birth classes, you're going to have your early stage and your active labor. So early stage, it's going to look a little different for you. So early stage of labor is going to look like you just watching her and figuring out, okay, is she up and moving? Then let me take her for a walk. Let's see if she wants to watch a movie. If you guys play board games or you play cards or you have like you're binge watching something, you can do those things, just normal everyday things. What I don't want her doing is focusing on timing those contractions and only hyper focused on that. So your job is to distract her from hyper focusing. You're going to get her laughing, maybe kiss her, get her like romance her a little, because that hormone, the oxytocin will flow. Because remember, did any of my partners, I want to see if any of my partners can answer me and tell me what the nickname is for the main hormone that makes labor progress. Anybody know the nickname? Someone shouted out to me, and not one of my mamas, because you guys better know it by this point. One of my partners. And then tell me who you are that's answering me. All right, come on now. Are we delaying a little? Does anybody know? Come on. Yes, the love hormone. The reason oxytocin is called the love hormone is because when she feels relaxed, she feels treasured, she feels romantic, that hormone is going to flow. So you know her. You know her. How do you get that love hormone to flow? So during the early stages of labor, I want you to think about the ways that you romance her. And that looks different for Ashley than it would for Janetta. And that looks different for Jasmine than it would for Sakura. So I want you guys, for your partners, to think like, what is it? Slow dancing? Is it going for a walk on the beach? Is it going for a walk in the, hiking? We had on our hangout last week, our pregnancy hangout, we were talking about visualization and escape. So that visualization is a tool that I teach. And, for me, it's the beach. But where is it for you? And in real life, like in early labor, you can, if Target is her place that she feels happy and peaceful, take her to Target. Do something that will increase that hormone for her. Light some candles, put some twinkle lights on, put some essential oils. But think of early labor as the time where it's kind of a romantic, hang out with my pregnant mama time to, just get that love hormone flowing. So that's your job during early labor. Now, during active labor, you're going to think. So active labor means action for you. This is when you're going to put into action the positions you've learned in the birth classes. This is when you're going to use those coping tools that you've learned. Now, during early labor, you can use some of the coping tools, and hopefully you've done her birth classes with her. You've learned the breathing techniques. You're going to lead her to taking the nice deep breath down to the baby, bringing out the toxicity and bringing out the pain, breathing it out. And you're going to get her through those early contractions. But active labor means action. So you're going to have one of the things we have in our purposeful positioning classes that you also get free if you join this week until tomorrow. If you join, you're going to get that, and you have a printout with different positions, and you can print that out. pull it out of your back pocket and be like, okay, now I'm going to have her do the reverse pelvic tilt. That's good for this right now. Come on, babe, let's get in the reverse pelvic tilt. You're going to be actions during active labor. So that's important. Now, she may want to rest a little bit, but we're talking about contractions coming every 3 to 4 minutes. And so she might doze off a little in between. That's fine. You can get her into those positions and then she can doze. No problem. Your other job is to give her hydration between every contraction. So that's my other power tip for you. Hydrate her, hydrate her, hydrate her. So remember, you're going to stay on top of where she's at mentally, and then you're going to follow her cues. You're going to lead her to distraction, show her action, whatever that is, and then you're going to hydrate her. So I'm actually giving you more powerful ways to support her. Make sure that you're keeping her hydrated, because her uterus is a muscle and you want to keep it hydrated. Dehydration during labor is a biatch. You do not want that to happen. So your job when she's contracting in between, now early labor, that's going to be 10, 15 minutes apart. Active labor, less than 4 minutes apart. So every contraction, give her a drink, sit the drink down. She might try to refuse it sometimes, but you just have her take a little sip. Okay. So now we're going to move to transition. Oh, wait, no, we're not there yet. Sorry. We're going to talk about a couple physical coping tools. So the power of touch during labor is phenomenal, but I've already told you that she may not want to be touched at points. So give her the grace to allow that. So if she is normally if you guys are normally like the most touchy-feely couple in the world and she never ever snaps at you, it's okay. Whatever happens in the labor room stays in the labor room. She may snap at you. She may normally never swear. She might be a potty mouth. It's okay. Do not worry. And mama, you do not have to apologize. Do not worry about saying I'm sorry every 2 seconds. Whatever happens in labor room stays in the labor room. So some of the physical coping tools that you can bring is touch, counter pressure. I've got some tools down here. So one of the massage gun, let me move this over here. The massage gun is phenomenal, and you can use this for counter pressure on her back. You can use it, it has different attachments you can use to help with her thigh pain and back pain and cramping and all the different things. You guys can also bring a TENS unit and help with that as well. So counter pressure is phenomenal. And then we're going to talk about I'm going to show the double hip squeeze again. Now, let me see if I can get to the right point in the video, because I'm not sure. I may have to fast forward it. Let's see if I can do it. You guys know I'm technically challenged. We'll see. But this is a practical way that you can help her.
The next coping tool we're going to learn is the double hip squeeze. Okay. By far, this is my most used tool as a doula, and all you need are your 2 hands. So what a double hip squeeze is, it's counter pressure on the hips. And what this is going to do is going to relieve pressure on your lower back. So if you're experiencing back labor or you have a posterior facing baby, this tool is going to be your best friend in labor. So what we're going to do is, again, you're going to be on a hands and knees position. You could have the birth ball underneath you. You could be leaning on the bed. You're going to find your hip bones by finding the point where they protrude underneath here. From there, you're going to bring your palms in, your hands up a bit, and this is where you're aiming to do your double hip squeeze. So again, you're going to find your points by finding your hip bones, bringing your hands in, and then move your hands up like this. For myself, because I'm a little bit shorter, I tend to find that I need to get into a lunge in order to get the actual pressure onto my client's hips. Something I want to note about double hip squeeze that often isn't noted is we want to pay attention to where we are squeezing on the hips. in what stage of labor. Oftentimes we're told to just squeeze straight in. And although that is going to relieve some pain in your lower back, it is important to realize that your pelvis kind of looks like this. And what happens if you squeeze the top of the pelvis, your bottom is going to open, and that's going to indicate the outlet of your pelvis. Well, when would we want the outlet of your pelvis to be open? In a later stage of labor. So maybe an active or transition. We would want the outlet to be open. Now, if you squeeze a lower part of your pelvis, the top is going to open, and that's the inlet of your pelvis. So again, your inlet of your pelvis is up here, your outlet of your pelvis is down here. So when we're looking at wanting the outlet of our pelvis open, we're squeezing a little bit lower. And when we want that is when we want the baby to engage, so in early labor. If baby is still floating kind of high and we want those hips really wide open, we want to squeeze a little bit lower on the pelvis. Now you can see visually why this is important to know the difference in the double hip squeeze. Because if we're in early labor and we're squeezing and we're up high and we're opening the outlet of the pelvis, that's kind of backwards. We don't want that. So let me show you what that looks like. So you're gonna find your hip bones. Again, bring your hands in, bring them up. And if we're looking at squeezing the top of the pelvis, so we're opening up the outlet, it's gonna look like more of a squeeze up here. You're gonna squeeze right in. And if you were looking here really closely, her sacrum, the bottom of her back, top of her pelvis is gonna pop up. And it's going to loosen the pressure that's on here, especially if you have a posterior baby. So again, hip bones in, up, and the sacrum is going to rise. Now, if you're looking at opening the top of the pelvis, so you're gonna squeeze a little bit lower, it's gonna look like this. So, and a lot of times it's described as making a W with your hands. So you squeeze in and up, in and up, and it loosens the pressure that they're going to feel right here. That is one form of counter pressure. The next form of counter pressure that we're going to talk about is very simple. You're going to use the palm of your hand. This can be used in a lot of different positions, so it doesn't have to just be hands and knees. You can be sitting on the ball, you can be laying on your side in bed, but you're going to take the palm of your hand by their sacrum, so right underneath, and you're just going to push. So lots of pressure using the palm of your hand right on the sacrum. That is going to do the same thing as relieve that pain that they're feeling right here.
Thank you, Allie. So let me repeat that. So what I said was, can you guys hear me now? I'm going to wait. Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully. Thank you, Allie. All right. I appreciate you, Allie. So the double hip squeeze is the most powerful and probably the biggest physical. So I was just saying that physical coping tools, your partner, your birth coach, your labor nurse, your doula, whoever, it's going to be one of the like the second, because the mental tools that your coach brings in is going to be the most important. But the double hip squeeze, if I had to say anything I've done the most in my career to help a mama cope with labor, it would be double hip squeeze. I have done a lot of double hip squeeze, a lot, thousands of mamas, and it is the most effective thing. And for my own birth, it is the most amazing comfort. I want it from about the time I hit about 6 centimeters until right in the middle of transition. After, when I hit transition, it goes too fast for me. So I don't really want anyone squeezing my hips. But up until then, Double hip squeeze is the way to go. And I feel so bad for my team because you can get exhausted. So for my coaches who are watching, my partners who are watching, if there's more than one of you in the room, just rotate, take turns, because it can be exhausting. And I want you to come back and watch the video because Taylor showed you how to hold your hands. There are different ways that you can hold your hands, and we have some videos on Instagram as well with different ways and in the coach class. Okay, you guys, so let's go to, so this was one of my students, Linda, and her partner did counter pressure to her lower back, and she said that was how she survived until she got to the hospital. Okay, transition. During transition, your partner's main tool is going to be a firm, steady, positive reinforcement. So if any of my mamas are on here who have already had a baby, then you know what I'm talking about when you hit transition. So when you hit transition, you are going to think crazy thoughts. You are going to you have a mental shift and you're going to think, I can't do it. You're going to want to go home. I remember wanting to cut my daughter out of me. Like I literally wanted to do a C-section on myself. This is when you're going to think, what the hell was I thinking? You're going to say really crazy things out loud. If your coach is not prepared, so partners, coaches listening, be prepared that if she is quietly laboring, moaning, even yelling, and then all of a sudden starts saying things that make no sense, get your gloves on because baby is coming. This is a sign. This is a welcome sign to baby. You guys are almost there. During transition, up until now, I want you using a very calm and peaceful. So up until transition, you're going to be saying things like, you are doing so good. You are incredible. Your body is amazing. Wow, you are laboring so good. You're handling the contractions so good. Keep going. Take a nice deep breath to baby. Transition hits, okay? And she says something like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. Now you're going to use a voice like this. You're going to say, so I'm calling on you, Victoria. You're going to go, Victoria, Victoria, look at me. Look me in the eyes. I want you to look at me, look up, and she's going to be, moving all around. You're going to get her attention firmly and calmly, get her to look you in the eyes, and you're going to reinforce what she knows to be true. She's going to be saying things like, I can't, I want to go home, I'm done. And you're going to say, no, you're doing it. You're doing so good. Very firm, but get her to look up, get her to make eye contact with you and to steady, slow down because she's going to be going all over the place in her head. Get her to come back to you and to remember that baby is coming. You're almost there. So during transition, Victoria, it's her due date today. During transition, this is when you have to get completely like you get, I always say all through labor, you're using your like no matter who you are, you're using your great grandma, calm, steady, comforting voice. Transition hits, you're going to bust out your mom voice. I don't care if you're male or female, you're going to bust out. When your mom says, like my mom is like, Trisha, Sherry, Jim, get in here now. That kind of voice, but not mean. But you're going to be firm. So you're going to be like, Victoria, look up, look at me, look at me. This is the voice I use with my patients. And you have to be a little more assertive because inside of her head, she is running down the hall, jumping in the car and driving home because she is not going to have this baby. You have to pull her back, yank her back to the labor room, get her back in front of you, get her to look up at you, come back to you, and remind her how amazing she is and that she is at the welcome sign for baby. Baby is coming and all the hard work is paying off. So your whole job during transition is just to keep bringing her back to the room, bringing her back, to the fact that baby is almost there. That's it. You can also help her through the contractions, help her to calm down. She's going to be panic breathing at this point. Slow the breath down. What I've taught them to do is to do their low guttural moaning and their horsey lips, their vibrating lips, so you can reinforce that. But your main job is to bring her back to the room, bring her back to the fact that baby is coming. So positive reinforcement. Yay, Victoria, I'm so excited for you. Is this your first baby? If it's your first, we still have some time. Okay, so I wanted to throw this in here. I meant to show this to you in a minute. So this is Linda, and this was her second baby. She lives in Ireland. We live for when she gets on the Hangouts because we love hearing her voice. But she had such a different experience for this birth because her and her partner were prepared. And it's a team effort. You have to both be prepared. And I love it because they use the different tools. They use the comb. Her partner applied counter pressure. And then when they got to the hospital, then they opted for some pain management plans. Oh, Victoria, it's not too late, girl. We have people join us the night before they have their baby. Come hang out with us. You have to. And Zoe, I have something that you are going to die. So Zoe, you know what I'm thinking. I have a reel coming out just for you, girl. Okay. Grab your ice again. We're going to redo this. You ready? Remember too, Victoria, that most first-time moms go to around 40 and 5, but it's not unusual that you go all the way to 42 weeks. And if you join us, you're going to get your labor bat signal right now, which means as soon as you join, you can activate your virtual doulas. You'll have 2 doulas and a labor nurse, and we'll be texting you privately. We have our own little messaging system. While you're in labor, if you're wake up and you're freaking out about something, we get pictures, lots and lots of pictures, fun pictures. Okay, you guys ready? Grab your ice. Now remember, don't put it in your hand yet. Remember the first time I was showing you what it's like if your partner is like not really paying attention, is asking you all sorts of questions, is just not tracking with you. Remember what I started this with. Your whole role as a support person is focusing on her. So now I've taught you some positive affirmations, how to reinforce, how to distract. So now this time, instead of asking questions and asking how bad the pain is and focusing on that, now I'm going to pretend to be an educated partner, and you guys are in labor. So even my partners watching this, grab your ice. Ready? Let's go. Grab your ice. And I want you to hold it, and I want you to take a nice deep breath. Take a nice breath in and blow it out. Slow and steady. Relax your arm, relax your hand. Now this time we're going to get air down to the baby. Take it in and blow it out. Let all of that stress out, like all of the anxiety, the unknown, all the fear. And just remember that you are so powerful. Now I want you to relax your shoulders, relax your hands. And I want you guys to look up at the camera, and I want you to say, I am a birth queen. I want you to shout it. And I want you to remember that what you're doing is something so incredible and so powerful. You are going to be birthing a baby. I want you to take a nice deep breath in, down to the baby, and out. All right, throw your ice down. How was that? Was that so much easier? We actually went 10 seconds longer that time because I messed up the timer. So we did 70 seconds. Sorry, but it wasn't as bad, was it? Tell me how you guys felt this time. I was coaching you and distracting you. Oh, Dale-Ann said she's doing it through what? Better be Braxton Hicks. Dale-Ann, you joined the classes, didn't you? I feel like you did. Or you already were. I have not slept in 2 weeks, y'all. My poor husband he's probably insane right now. I'm like a little kid at Disney World. I don't know. All right. What is holding y'all back? I thought you did. I thought so. What is holding you guys back from joining us? I want to hear from you guys tonight. I want to hear what's holding you back from joining the birth classes. Our sale and the sale on the bundle ends tomorrow. You don't want to birth like this. Trust me. You do not want to go to the hospital, lay on your back, put your legs in the air, not eat, have your baby taken. You don't want that. You want something different. I know it. That's why you're here. So we want to take your hand. So if you want us to take your hand and provide you with evidence-based knowledge and tools, plus a little bit of wackiness, because we are just a little bit off kilter, so that you can have your best calm birth ever, now is the time. The sale ends tomorrow. And then I am going out on the boat all day Saturday, and I am not thinking on Saturday. So these are some of my students, and we did an interview with our students, and we asked them to give us one word of what they felt after taking our birth classes. The most common word we heard was empowered, but we heard calm, and we heard confident, and we heard supported, we heard excited. How many people do you hear that say they're actually genuinely excited? And I want you to look at these faces. You see that fist? You see her fist in the air? That's Judith with her fist in the air. Like, I love these faces. And I love Liz, who delivered on the floor next to the bed. She never even got in her labor bed because she decided baby number 2, she was doing it her way. That's what I want for you guys. I genuinely want that. And we've talked about your choices. You can keep doing what you've been doing. You can let the outcome, let the decisions be someone else's. I don't care if you're due tomorrow or today, like Victoria. Stop letting your birth be in someone else's hands. We want to help you. It's not too late. You can 100% commit to allowing us to support you through your birth. You can binge watch the classes, girl, and be done in a couple hours. We can get you, and you have 2 doulas and a labor nurse on your team. We want to do it with you, and you have 30-day money-back guarantee. Go with the choice that's going to lead you to evidence-based information based on 16 years of experience and 6 births myself, and support from birth professionals who truly, genuinely care, and a community of moms like you guys will not believe. You'll be blown away. They're amazing. So both birth classes, remember again, Calm Labor, Confident Birth class is for moms, anybody that has not had a cesarean. If you've had a cesarean, you need to choose the VBAC lab because it's very specific to you. Both are full, comprehensive, online, self-paced, lifetime access. You have a lifetime access for as many babies as you have, and your birth coaches, your birth team can all log in and do the classes with you. We love them. So if you join today, you're going to get the birth class, our purposeful positioning class, your birth coach class, postpartum recovery class, and 30 days free of weekly coaching, weekly hangout. You're also going to get your labor bat signal, and then you can have an incredible team on your side. Remember, 1 day left to use Birth Queen. So if you guys want to join, now is the time. Like, you need to do it now because it ends tomorrow. And you can get $100 off by using the code Birth Queen. Remember, you can use your SHA or your FSA. They will pay for birth classes. And if you don't have a health spending account, we can help you try to get reimbursed from your insurance company. But to be transparent, they're a pain in the butt. We will help you, but it's not guaranteed. You can also do PayPal credit and use the Birth Queen code because you'll get $100 off. And then I think your payments are like 6 payments of 34. And that gets you 2 doulas and a labor nurse and support throughout your labor. So you get everything you need today, you guys. absolute everything. Again, here are some of my students that have just shared what purposeful positioning, which is our complete video-based course, all the movements you need. Actually, Victoria, I will, if you join today, I will tell you exactly which modules to do. And I want you to do this class because this is video based and it's got a download with all the different positions. And this is going to show you what to do also to get your body into position, into labor. We also have some labor induction classes and workshops in the community that can help you get into labor as well. And me and Lene and Taylor will all help you in your labor bat signal too. So this is a great class for you to start with as well. You also get the birth coach class, and this is where your coach is going to learn everything they need. So all my support people on here, this is not your only class though. You need to do them all with her. So no slackers. You have to do this and all the other classes, but this is specifically for you. And then this is Madison, and she said, Braden came into the world early at 36 weeks this weekend. Thank you so much for your classes. I felt super educated. Everything didn't go perfectly according to plan, but at least I was able to hear my options and decide what was best for me. That is what I want for you guys, because I've told you, if you don't know your options, you don't have any. You have to know your options. You're also going to get your postpartum recovery class. So this is like a one-stop shop for $197. You get everything. And this is Aubrey, and this was in her labor bat signal. We actually had 4 babies born this morning, you guys, and it's so exciting. This is going to, the labor bat signal will blow you away. We have the 3 of us. We try to answer you guys as quick as possible. 3 in the morning, we might not. But this morning I got into the labor bat signals. Taylor had answered at like 5. I answered at like 5:30 a.m. And then Lene got in there at like 7 a.m. So you will have very quick responses. And this mama said, I honestly believe taking part in Fearless Birth Experience and the Calm Labor Confident Birth courses empowered me to know and trust what my body is capable of. But this was by far the most intense physical undertaking of my life, but I did it. I love that so much. I love Aubrey. This is Olivia. She is so sweet. And she is on the postpartum hangout right now, I'm sure, because she's there every week. She said, I just wanted to reach out and sincerely thank you for what you said today. Even though I look back on our delivery and feel grateful feelings, I needed to hear what you said. I'm so grateful for these hangouts and workshops as I navigate mommyhood. And I so appreciate your dedication to all of us. You guys will have access to me. That I can 100% guarantee. You also get 30 days in our Calm Mama Society where you're going to get 4 weeks of weekly coaching calls where we hang out on Zoom. You can ask me all your questions. If you go to your doctor's office and you're confused or they want to induce you or you're being induced, you'll have me and 2 doulas during your induction to fall back on and ask questions, run things by. You have so much support. And then after the 30 days, you can decide if you want to stay or not, but we know you won't leave us. You will want to stay with us for postpartum as well and throughout your pregnancy. And it's $19.97 a month, which you can't beat for labor support and virtual doulas. It's pretty incredible. So if you guys have any questions, oh, here's another one. This one, she said, thank you so much for everything you taught in your Calm and Confident Birth course, Trish. I learned so much and was able to prep my mind and body to make it through a 16-hour labor as a first-time mom unmedicated. Labor began on its own and water broke on its own, and he was out in 3 pushes. Couldn't have done it without all the prep in your course. Thank you so much. I love hearing from these mamas, and these are 2 of my other mamas. And she said, I was able to make the decisions I wanted as things were happening. And then I love Brooke's little baby over here. She said it was the most empowering, beautiful experience, which is so incredible, right? That's so amazing to hear. Yes, Victoria, there's a ton of postpartum support. In fact, I'm missing the postpartum hangout right now, and I'm a little bit bummed because I love it so much. I'm going to try to hop on when I get done. Before I go, I'm doing a birth story live with one of my students, Megan, at 8 o'clock on Instagram if you guys want to join. We have a ton of postpartum workshops. It's amazing. I should have shown you guys a little bit on the inside so you could see what you're getting, but it's pretty incredible. And you have 30 days. If you're not happy, which I'm sure that you will be. Just wanted to share the news that Caleb James Ross entered the world at 11:16. I am still in shock a little bit that I managed to have the unmedicated vaginal delivery I wanted. Thank you for what the two of you do. And this was, I wanted to have this a little bigger. And she's talking about me and Taylor. That's before Lene came on the team. Now you guys get 3 of us. And this was a labor bat signal, which is so incredible. And these are just some of our labor bat signals. And you can see that they're texting us and we're just responding right back to them and giving them tips when they get there for their induction, when they're getting ready to push, when they go to their doctor's appointments, when they have good news, when they have bad news, when they have tough news, when their family's annoying them, if they have prodromal labor, all the things you navigate at the end of pregnancy and through postpartum, you have your labor bat signal, which we still call it labor bat signal, but you have it, Victoria, you have access to us. We say 6 weeks postpartum, but honestly, we have some that pop back in for months. And then we have girls that have come every week to the postpartum hangout and their babies are a year old. So we have an incredible group of mamas. And again, tomorrow night, done 4 of your 5-day classes, was confident in VBAC, set to be induced tomorrow. And husband just said he didn't think I will have one. What? What is he talking about? No. No. I don't like that at all. Did you tell him that according to the studies, 90% of women who have had a cesarean are candidates for VBAC, and 80% of women who go for VBACs have VBACs? And I am confident that you will. I'm wondering, though, why you're being induced. Are you wanting to be induced, or is there something going on? Tell me what's going on. Victoria, if you joined, go right into the community and start your labor bat signal. So what you do is you go to the DMs, pick up the pencil, and it's Taylor McKay and Lene. And Lene, it's Lene Jennifer. It's a long last name, but it's just do Lene. She's the only one. Lenay. And then me. If you have a breech baby at 20 weeks, should be worried about C-section. Absolutely not. Babies usually are not committed to head down at 20 weeks. Do not worry about that at all. Just be patient with your body. I'm currently 41 weeks and 5 days, so I'm just spent emotionally, physically. I'm sorry, girl. I am so sorry. Have you tried doing the miles circuit? Let me grab you a link. No, I just had it up. Let me grab that for you. That right there, for those of you guys who are watching, that is one of the top reasons why I offer my virtual labor support, my labor bat signal for mamas right there. The end of pregnancy can be so mentally and physically exhausting. And we offer our labor support so that if you were one of our students, you can just get in there and be like, Trish, Taylor, Lene, I am emotionally and physically exhausted. And we're going to give you our tips of what we would for our clients, our in-person clients. And I can promise you, both my doulas, they would not, like with their own businesses, they charge a lot more for virtual services. So you guys are getting a huge blessing to have access. Hopefully you saw that. I can't see your name. Lots of sexy time. So you're 41 and 5. 41 and 5. I'd love to know, have you had a cervical exam or no? VBACs can't do certain things. They cannot have Cervidil. Some providers do some prostaglandins, but not many. But you can do a Foley induction. I personally, for a VBAC, I would say the same thing I say to all moms. Wait for your body unless you have a high-risk reason to be induced. All doctors push for inductions for most doctors push for inductions for all women. That's why, because they can control it. There are a lot of doctors who will not do inductions for a VBAC. All right, ladies, I am going to hop off and have dinner, and then I'm going to be on Instagram tonight. Let me see. We might try to go live into the Facebook groups to do the birth stories, but so far I've had a hell of a time getting it to stream everywhere. 33, wait, yeah, I personally want to wait. Is there a point at like 42 weeks or close to that that you should be induced? So it's definitely a personal decision. With my students, this is another reason why we do the labor VAT signal, because it's different for each person. And I believe in individualized care. So I don't think that all women over 35 should be done a certain way because they're old, or all women who are gestational diabetes should have this because they're this. I think that each person should be individualized. So for most healthy women, baby's doing good, mama's doing good, if you get to 41, 5, 6 days, I would recommend some membrane sweeps. And then my doulas and we have some tips we do on the down low to help you get into spontaneous labor at home, but we don't publicize all those. But yes, if you're going to be induced and you're getting close to 42, maybe 41 and 5 would be a good time. 33 weeks and I'm having horrible provider experience. Oh, I'm so sorry. We've moved location, or they've moved 3 times, lost my lab results, bruised the hell out of my arm, struggling to find a new provider in my area. And I'm honestly am thinking of just sticking it out. Any tips for finding a new one? Gosh. So what I would do is I would go into a local moms group on Facebook, and I would post in there asking for recommendations. But I would caution you to say why. Make sure you ask them why they like their provider, because your reasons for wanting what you like and what they like might be different. And then start calling some of those providers that they recommend. But I think it's good to get it. And also you can ask local doulas. They're the best ones to know who to go to. 1 centimeter, 30 effaced 2 days ago. So that's good. That's good. Remember that cervical exams really don't matter. So I would continue doing what you're doing, and I would maybe go get a prenatal massage. Maybe take tomorrow off from even worrying about going into labor. Just de-stress, go get a prenatal massage, get your nails done, do something just for you, and take your mind off until the evening. Then when the lights go down and it gets dark, your melatonin goes up, and I would do some nipple stimulation to try to get your cervix nice and ready. Cervical exams, if they're done right and they're sterile and your water's not broken, then you should technically be okay. But the more times we introduce something into the vaginal area, there is a chance for infection. So there is an increase. All right, ladies, I hope you joined us. This was the last workshop for this experience. We are doing some birth stories today and tomorrow. The sale ends tomorrow night at midnight, and then it's back to $297. And we will be getting started with our weekly hangouts with our new students and with our mamas and all of our labor bat signals and all of our sweet little babies. All right, you guys, have a fantastic night. For those of you about to have your babies, congratulations. I hope you have a beautiful birth.